In a small cafe tucked behind rows of fiery red maple trees on the outskirts of Denver, early autumn sunlight filtered through crystal-clear windows, casting golden streaks across polished oak tables. The aroma of freshly ground coffee mingled with the cinnamon scent of warm apple pies straight from the oven, crafting a cozy, intimate space where people often sought refuge from Colorado's early chill. But today, that tranquility was shattered by a sharp, cruel laugh, slicing through the air like a blade. Emily sat huddled in the corner, her thin sweater offering no shield from the leering gazes of the three men looming over her. One of them, tall and burly, clad in a worn leather jacket, leaned in close. His breath reeked of stale beer and cigarettes, making Emily recoil. He grabbed her collar and yanked hard. The sound of tearing fabric rang out sharp as a slap. Emily froze, her hands trembling as she clutched her chest, her heart pounding as if each beat left a bruise. She was no stranger to life's harshness, but this public humiliation in broad daylight in a crowded cafe was beyond anything she could have imagined. The other patrons lowered their eyes, pretending to focus on their coffee or phones. No one spoke up. No one intervened. Emily felt small, powerless, like a sparrow trapped in a glass cage. She thought of her brother Jason, who always taught her to be strong, to face adversity head-on. But Jason was somewhere far away, riding the highways with his motorcycle club. His protection now felt like a distant fantasy. The burly man sneered, his voice low and menacing. "What's wrong, sweetheart? Gonna cry?" He reached to touch her cheek, but at that moment the cafe door swung open. A gust of cold air swept in, shifting the atmosphere instantly. Slow, confident footsteps echoed across the tiled floor, each one striking the heart-rhythms of everyone in the room. All eyes turned to the man who had just entered. He was tall, with a lean yet commanding presence. His charcoal gray suit, tailored to perfection, hugged his frame without a single crease. Polished leather shoes gleamed under the light, and a Patek Philippe watch glinted on his wrist with every movement. His storm-gray eyes, sharp as a blade, scanned the room, settling on Emily and the three men. Flanking him were two other men, also in suits, but broader and clearly bodyguards. They stood silently, yet their presence made the air in the cafe feel heavy. The burly man, the ringleader, faltered. His laughter died, replaced by visible unease. The man in the suit said nothing. He simply walked forward, each step a declaration of authority. When he reached Emily, he removed his suit jacket and gently draped it over her shoulders, covering the torn sweater. The gesture was tender, yet commanding, a silent vow that she was now under his protection. Emily looked up, her eyes brimming with tears, but flickering with hope. She didn't know who this man was, but his presence made her feel safe for the first time that day. "You," his voice was low, icy, yet clear, cutting through the cafe's silence. "What are you doing here?" The burly man stepped back, trying to maintain his bravado, but failing to hide the tremor in his voice. Just messing around. No big deal." Messing around? The man repeated, his tone deceptively calm but razor-sharp. He tilted his head, his gaze locking onto the ringleader. "Tearing a woman's clothes in a cafe is your idea of a joke." The air in the cafe seemed to freeze. The only sound was the faint hiss of the espresso machine at the counter. The burly man opened his mouth to speak, but was silenced by the man's piercing stare. The other two shuffled back, hands, trembling eyes darting as if searching for an escape. The man turned to Emily, his voice softening. "Are you okay?" Emily nodded weakly, her voice shaky. I'm fine. Thank you." He gave a faint smile, warm yet confident. "I'm Ethan Caldwell. You don't need to thank me. Men like these," he glanced at the trio, "don't deserve to be anywhere near you." The name Ethan Caldwell sent a ripple through the cafe. Who in Denver didn't know him, the tech billionaire founder of Caldwell Dynamics, a multi-billion-dollar empire? He was the city's most powerful man, yet famously private and composed. No one expected him to walk into a modest cafe like this, let alone intervene in a situation like this. Ethan turned back to the burly man. "You have 10 seconds to leave. If not, I'll ensure you lose more than just your dignity." The ringleader swallowed hard, panic flashing in his eyes. He knew he'd crossed the wrong man. Without another word, the three scrambled out of the cafe, the door slamming behind them, leaving stunned silence in their wake. Ethan helped Emily to her feet and led her outside. The crisp autumn wind carried the scent of dry leaves and distant chimney smoke. A sleek black Bentley was parked at the curb, its driver standing at attention. Ethan opened the door, gesturing for Emily to get in. She hesitated for a moment, but his earnest gaze prompted her to nod. Inside the car, the atmosphere was warm and quiet. Emily sat close to the window, clutching Ethan's suit jacket. She was still trembling, but his presence felt like an escape from a nightmare. Ethan sat across from her, his eyes studying her with care never intrusive. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Emily," she replied, her voice small. "Emily Harper." "Emily," he repeated as if committing it to memory. "Would you like me to take you home or to the police station?" Emily shook her head. "No. No need. I don't want to make a fuss. Just, home is fine." Ethan nodded, respecting her choice. He turned to the driver, giving a brief order. "Take Ms. Harper to the address she provides. Ensure she's safe." The Bentley glided smoothly through Denver's suburbs, past rows of crimson maples and cozy brick homes. Emily gazed out the window, her mind still reeling. She couldn't believe what had just happened. The man sitting across from her, Ethan Caldwell, wasn't just a billionaire, he was a symbol of power and success. Yet he had stepped in without hesitation to protect her, a complete stranger. "Thank you," Emily said, her voice trembling. "I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't shown up." Ethan smiled this time with more warmth. "You don't need to do anything. Men like that aren't worth your fear. And you," he looked directly into her eyes, "are stronger than you think." His words were like a small flame warming Emily's heart. No one had spoken to her like that since her brother Jason left. She managed a faint smile, the first of the day. The car pulled up to an old apartment complex on the outskirts. Emily stepped out, returning Ethan's jacket. "Thank you again. I won't forget this." Ethan took the jacket but didn't put it on. He studied her, his expression thoughtful. "Emily, if you ever need help, call me." He handed her a business card, simple yet elegant, bearing only his name and a phone number. Emily took the card, her fingers brushing the embossed letters. She nodded, unsure what to say. The Bentley pulled away silently, leaving her standing on the quiet street, the autumn wind tousling her hair. In the days that followed, Emily couldn't stop thinking about Ethan Caldwell. She kept his card in her wallet, a reminder of the moment she was saved. Her life went on part-time work at a bookstore, piling bills. But whenever she felt overwhelmed, Ethan's image with his sharp eyes and warm voice gave her strength. A week later, while dusting shelves at the bookstore, Emily's phone rang. An unknown number. She frowned but froze when she heard the voice on the other end. "Emily, it's Ethan Caldwell. I hope I'm not disturbing you." She nearly dropped the phone. "No, not at all." Ethan chuckled softly. "I'm near your bookstore. Do you have time for a coffee? I think we should talk." Emily agreed, her mind spinning. Half an hour later, Ethan appeared at the bookstore door, still impeccably dressed, but in a gray cashmere sweater, looking more approachable. He took her to a fancier cafe with walnut interiors and leather armchairs. They sat across from each other, and Ethan started the conversation naturally, as if they'd known each other for years. He asked about her life, her job, her dreams. Emily was surprised at how easily she opened up about her tough childhood, her brother Jason, her dream of owning a small bookstore. Ethan listened without interrupting, his eyes focused. When she finished, he smiled. You know, Emily, I believe in investing in people who deserve it. And you, I think, are one of those people. She blushed, unsure how to respond. Ethan continued. Have a proposal. Caldwell. Dynamics is funding a program for young entrepreneurs. If you're interested, I can help you start your bookstore. Not charity and investment. You'd be the owner, and I'd just provide support. Emily was stunned. This wasn't just an opportunity, it was a dream she'd barely dared to imagine. She looked at Ethan, searching for ulterior motives, but saw only sincerity. Why are you doing this? She asked quietly. You don't know me. I'm just a stranger. Ethan tilted his head, smiling. You're not a stranger, Emily. I saw your strength the moment I walked into that cafe, and I believe that when we can help someone stand taller, we should. In the months that followed, Emily's life transformed. With Ethan's support, she opened Harper's Pages in downtown Denver. The bookstore quickly became a beloved spot, with warm wooden shelves, a reading nook by the fireplace, and the constant aroma of coffee. Emily wasn't just a shop owner, she was a true entrepreneur, confident and passionate. Ethan remained a part of her life not as a distant billionaire, but as a friend and mentor. He'd visit the bookstore on weekend afternoons, reading by the window, occasionally teasing Emily when she fumbled with a rush of customers. Gradually, their bond deepened, quiet but profound. One winter evening, as snow fell thickly outside the bookstore's windows, Ethan took Emily's hand, his eyes glowing in the firelight. Emily, I can't promise you the world, but I promise to stand by you, protect you, and build our own world together. Emily smiled, tears glistening. She realized strength wasn't just facing fear, it was opening your heart to help and protecting those you love. They stood there in the warm bookstore, snow falling silently outside, and Denver had never felt so beautiful.